So all of this starts out with this trend that was posted by Harumi Mini. And by the way, I really want to emphasize, don't send hate to the person that started this trend. There was no way they would have known this would be the result of it. But Haru writes, "Give me your most controversial opinion about VTubers that will have you like this." VTubers are basically quote retweeting this and replying with their hot takes. And I saw a big variety of hot takes, but this one in particular was the one that broke the internet. So this was made by a creator by the handle Pinbun VT, who goes by Pinbun. And they write, "Anyone who says they're in this for fun and not for success or money is a liar and trying to farm humble clout. Just be honest. Being successful at this hobby you love would be fucking cool, and every time you go live, you hope for that." So when I first saw this tweet, I was like, wow, this is the hot take. In my personal opinion, they're not fully wrong.
I'll go even further and say that I'm shocked that this is even a hot take. Hey guys, Nathan Brendan Masters, I saw this morning and I was like, whoa, what? I couldn't believe how people came at this VTuber for saying something that was like, again, this is a hot take that you want. Listen, I'm assuming that VTubers are on that same vibe as a lot of artists, where there's this idea that it doesn't look good to want to profit from your art, or it doesn't want to look good to profit from something that you're doing as a hobby, something you're supposed to do out of love. But honestly, I agree with Pinbun. I do not believe that people are out here just saying, let me say this. I know that there are people who say, I got into this for fun, it's a hobby, but I don't believe that there are people just out here like, oh my God, I hope this doesn't blow up. I think there's a fake humility in all of these communities that's, quite frankly, kind of annoying. It's like we know we're supposed to say we don't want the money, but everybody wants the money. Why would I want to go out to a job I don't like or a job I hate to make money and then go home and just, kind of have this hobby on the side and this thing that I really like, and then it's kind of like, oh, I can make money at this. Oh, no. I just want. Now, I do understand that there are some people who are like that in the fact of they want to have a business. They go and work or they have their business or whatever, and they literally have a whole hobby to the side where they're doing this other thing that they want completely separate from the business. And I will say, once you do this as a business, a lot of people will say it's not exactly the same. And, a lot of artists, that's the thing they don't like about the art business. It's the actual business. That's what they don't like. They don't want to do that part of it. That's the stuff that's annoying to them. I'm a little bit different because I actually like the business part of it as well. That's a big thing with me, is having a product, because for me, it's not just only the art, it's creating a product and having something to market and sell. That makes me happy. That whole process makes me happy. As a matter of fact, drawing by itself, I'm not so fond of. I particularly like to draw comic books and comic book related stuff, particularly stuff related to my comic books. So I've created a situation where if it does blow up, this thing does blow up, I have a situation that I could be completely happy with. My first thought way back when YouTube was first jumping off was, hey, could I upload my films to YouTube? That's even when YouTube was just a hobby for me.
This is a screenshot because Pinbun has now deactivated on Twitter, and Lei Zushen, a VTuber, was stating their thoughts. Lei writes, "Man, I feel like this is one that should have stayed in the drafts. It's a narrow-minded way of thinking that poisons the well. This is the kind of comment that makes your whole group look bad." And group is referring to the fact that Pinbun was part of a VTuber group. And the VTuber group on Twitter has not made a statement yet, so I don't know whether they have left the group or not. But Lei continues, "People say they got into VTubing for fun because, as it turns out, VTubing is fun. It's not for humble bragging. It's just what they think." Occam's razor. Most people I know got into VTubing during a time where there wasn't a clear indication that there was any money at all, due to the very likely being a passing fad that might just fade away as soon as COVID quarantine was lifted. A lot of VTubers I know have no idea how business works at all and couldn't even tell you the first steps to monetizing themselves. They learned on the fly when they found out they stumbled into something that could be a career. They found it as a form of escape first, and then fostered communities that they loved and cherished, found a place to belong. That was what they wanted for it. They found it as something to kill the time with, to apply direction to their lives during a point in time where their lives were lacking motivation and purpose. They found it because they thought it'd be funny to be an anime girl, boy, other on the internet and find other like-minded people that wanted to share in that fantasy. There are so many different reasons people stay in this for. Sure, some like yourself may only be in this mainly because you saw success or money as a possible future for you here. But to think or say that everyone is here for a similar reason is just short-sighted, to say the least. And to call them all liars is just ... LMAO. It's a sentiment bred from hatred and self-loathing.
Hatred and self-loathing? How does that make sense? I mean, to my knowledge, everybody that's in this kind of, whether it's YouTube or hell, just on Instagram and Twitter, and all these people are trying to, get popular. And typically when you get popular, some form of money and things come with you if you're a VTuber or if you're on YouTube and things like that. And I know there's some people who don't monetize and stuff, but I do think that there is some kind of weird false humility there where you kind of pretend like, nah, I don't want anything from this. It's like maybe you did get into it. When I first got into YouTube, I didn't expect to make any money from YouTube. YouTube wasn't monetizing everyone. It was monetizing a very small group of people who had hit a certain status. But I ain't gonna lie, when they did start monetizing, I got my ass in gear, and even that's not 100% true because my original plan was always to use YouTube as a way to gain an audience.
I know their wording sounds really, really harsh, but the sentiment, the way I read it personally, is that it sounds like they're just trying to say, if you state that you have never once thought that this would be cool to make money from, you're probably lying. And I feel like most of us have had that thought, but it's not the driving force of why I started streaming. And I feel like for most of us, it's not the driving force. Because if making money from streaming and being a VTuber was your driving force, you probably would have quit a long time ago because it takes so long to make money as a streamer that if that was your only reason for being here, it would be a lot easier to go do something else and make money quicker from other jobs and tasks.
Anything in any of these fields takes a little bit of time to pick up. It could take anywhere from like a few months to a year to a few years, and you'd be better off doing something else and maybe having this as a side hustle. But at the same time, I can kind of see why this is a hot take, because particularly in the art community, and I don't know if I guess the VTube community does indeed cross over with the arts community. There's this idea that you don't do art for money. And I don't know exactly what goes on in the VTuber community, but I know in the art community, that's one of the reasons everybody's mad about AI, because it's a threat to the financial capacity of artists. So if that's the case, then money is a thing. Again, I don't know exactly how it goes in the VTuber community, but I know that this is a sentiment in the art community. Again, going back to the Kelsey Rodriguez hit piece, there's something here. Is she really an artist? She's not doing art. She's doing this thing that's about making money. Well, bro, what do you want? Do you want to be successful at this, or do you want to be the starving artist? Because there's romanticism about that starving artist, but that shit ain't real. It ain't so romantic when you can't pay no bills. And I guarantee you, romance is not on the table, particularly if you're a dude and you can't pay no bills. The facts of the matter is, why are we out here pretending or romanticizing being broke? Ain't nothing romantic about that. There's nothing good about that at all. What's good about not being able to pay your bills? What's good about not being able to pay your rent? What's good about not being able to have a car or have the ability to travel or buy food? Ain't nothing good about that. And y'all need to stop romanticizing that shit. That shit's not good. Either you ain't really, and I get the idea that the people who romanticize this stuff, they're taken care of. They come from places where this is not a thing that they're going to have to worry about. Because it becomes weird to kind of put that type of thing on a pedestal when, you struggling. If I'm struggling, I'm not trying to romanticize the struggle. I'm trying to get out the struggle. as far as I can see, Pinbun was standing on business. I mean, they were keeping it real. But I'm going to put the link to Catliante's video in the description. You guys take it easy. Nathan Brennan Masters. I just saw that video. I was like, this is the thing that I gotta speak on this. So until next time, guys, hasta.
Don't look back, we're here to stay. A life we knew would come one day. And this is it, the borderline to where the future leaves us behind. The fire will